Hello and welcome. We spend pretty much our entire lives on a quest, right? A search for something. But what if the very thing we're all searching for is actually the one thing that's stopping us from finding what we truly need? Okay, let's dive into this. So let me just ask you straight up, what are you searching for? For most of us, the answer feels so obvious it's almost silly to ask. We want to be happy. It feels like the most natural, fundamental drive in the world. But is it the right one? Because the source material we're digging into today makes this incredibly bold claim right out of the gate. That very search for happiness is a false search. The argument is that this pursuit, the one that seems so logical, is actually the source of our problems, not the solution. So let's start by looking at this chase. Our entire society seems to be built around it. We're all constantly running, trying to get the next thing that we believe will finally make us happy. And this chase, it takes so many different forms, doesn't it? We go after wealth, thinking, if I just had more money, my worries would be over. We chase fame, we chase status, believing that if people recognize us, we'll feel fulfilled. And hey, even on a spiritual level, so many people are chasing the idea of heaven, a place of ultimate, never-ending happiness. It's this universal race we're all in. But here's the catch, and it is a huge catch. What happens when you actually get the thing you are chasing? The moment you get it, the magic just kind of vanishes. The happiness is so fleeting, it becomes meaningless, and almost immediately your mind latches on to the next thing. The finish line just keeps moving. Now, this ancient story of King Yayati just illustrates this perfectly. So he reaches 100 years old, and death comes for him. But he says, wait, I haven't really lived yet. So he takes his son's youth and lives for another 100 years. Still not enough. This goes on for 1,000 years. And when death returns, what does Yayati say? I'm still not satisfied. 1,000 years of chasing pleasure, and he's right back where he started. So it's not just about an endless race. The argument here goes even deeper. It's suggesting we're not just running in circles. We're running in completely the wrong stadium. And this little story just illustrates the point so brilliantly. You have a king up on the roof of his palace looking for his lost camel. A wise man comes by and says, "What are you doing? You're a fool. Camels aren't found on roofs." And the king's response is just devastatingly sharp. He says, if you can find happiness sitting on a throne surrounded by wealth, then I can find a camel on a roof. We're all searching for something where it simply cannot be found. So the really crucial point here is this. The search for happiness isn't a genuine search for fulfillment at all. It's actually a distraction. It's an intoxicant, like a drug, something we use to numb ourselves and forget this fundamental sorrow that's lying just underneath everything. Let's break down how this becomes a vicious cycle. Okay, so it starts with this inner sorrow, right? A feeling of lack. To escape it, we start chasing some external happiness, a new car, a new relationship, whatever. For a little while, we get it and the chase stops. But in that quiet moment of stillness, what happens? That underlying sorrow just pops right back up. And so, to forget it again, we have to start a brand new chase for a new happiness. And the cycle just repeats over and over and over. And this leads to a completely revolutionary shift in perspective. What if the goal isn't to gain something called happiness, but to eliminate that underlying sorrow? Now that is the real search. So you can really draw a sharp contrast between two types of people. You have the seeker of happiness, who's always chasing temporary pleasures, but they stay trapped in that cycle of sorrow we just talked about. But then you have the seeker of sorrow's end. They go straight to the root cause. And by doing that, they don't just find a temporary high, they attain a permanent state of bliss. So what is this root cause? Well, the source gives it a specific name, Atma Agyan, which basically means self-ignorance. The whole idea is that all of our sorrow, that deep feeling of lack, stems from one single thing, not knowing who or what we truly are. To put it another way, trying to find happiness to cure our sorrow is like constantly trimming the leaves of a weed. Yeah, it might look a little better for a moment, but the weed just grows back, maybe even stronger. The only real solution is to get down there and pull the whole thing out by the root, to deal with the self-ignorance itself. Okay, so if the problem is self-ignorance, how do we solve it? Well, the source proposes a really practical method, an art of seeing. The solution is to learn how to become a sakshi, which translates to a witness. It means learning to observe your own life, your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences from a kind of detached, calm perspective. So, how does this actually work? It's a pretty simple 3-step thing you can do right in your own head. First, just acknowledge the experience you're having: sadness, joy, anger, whatever. Second, mentally take a step back and separate yourself from it. And third, just observe it with no judgment, almost like you're watching a movie or seeing it happen to somebody else. And the amazing thing is, you can apply this to absolutely everything. Witness your body as it walks. Witness your mind as it listens to these words right now. Witness happiness when it comes, and witness sorrow when it comes. You can witness your whole life, from childhood to old age, as if you are the one constant, unchanging audience for a constantly changing show. Now, when this practice really starts to deepen, something profound happens. You don't just become happy. You actually transcend the entire game of happiness and sorrow. You start to see that happiness and sorrow, they aren't really opposites. They are two sides of the exact same coin. You literally cannot have one without the other. So if you're always chasing one, you are guaranteeing that you will be visited by the other. They're a package deal. So the person who discovers this inner witness finds a state that is beyond all these pairs of opposites. It's not happiness, because happiness implies its opposite, sorrow. It's a state the Source calls anand, which you can translate as bliss, or just deep, unshakable contentment. It's a state of being that just doesn't depend on what's happening outside.
And this is the final, and maybe the most crucial point of all, this state of Anand. It's not a new prize you win, it's not some emotion you acquire. It is your own true nature that was there the whole time, just covered up by all the noise of chasing and running. You don't find it, you uncover it.
Which brings us right back to the beginning. It's a question that's really worth asking ourselves, honestly. Look at the race you're running, the things you're chasing after. Is your search actually getting you anywhere? Or is it just keeping you busy while you run on the spot?